Hey everybody, my name is Nick Yother. I'm the youth director here at Hickory Flat United Methodist Church, and this is my beautiful wife Rachel. And we just wanted to take a second to kind of reflect on this quarantine time that we've had, and just kind of share with you our experience, and hopefully give some hope at the end of all of this. But it all really started at the beginning, as we were really seeing news pop out of China, out of Italy. We kind of approached it in two different ways. I was kind of more the laid back, chill, like this isn't a big deal.
I was a doomsday prepper. I was getting milk and bread and freezing it in our outdoor freezer.
You would have thought it was a zombie apocalypse coming. But, you know, we just didn't really understand how to go about it. We've never experienced a pandemic before. And
We've never even gone through like a tragedy together.
Yeah, I mean, because we just got
responded.
married. We've been married for 6 months. It was 6 months actually on
the quarantine date.
Yeah, on the day quarantine kind of started for everybody. So what a way to bring in our celebration to get shut in. But we really went through a roller coaster of emotions with it. As it kind of came up, as it kind of started going, we kind of balanced the being scared and not worried about it, scared and not worried about it. And, we were even still having dinner with some of our friends kind of later in the game. And then we kind of realized, we're like, oh, we might not see them again for a while. And then it started kind of getting a little stressful and a little real as the first cases started popping up in America and even our Waffle House down the road. There was a meme that came out the day before, and if you don't happen to know what a meme is, it's a picture with a funny caption, and this one happened to have a picture of the Waffle House, and it said, "It will be time to panic when this closes down." And then the next day in our newspaper and on all the news outlets, it goes, "Waffle House off Highway 5 is closed because of coronavirus." And we're like,
time to panic.
Shut it down. We're panicking. We're close all the doors. We're boarding them up, and we're shutting down. But after all that kind of started happening, we really had to start having some honest conversations with one another. And I think I got really stuck in on the fact that I was angry about this being my first year being married. I've waited all this time, and I didn't want to spend it being shut up and closed in and not be able to go out and experience new things. And I think I was upset for the seniors. I was upset for certain workers. I was upset for Publix employees or grocery store employees, because I remember going into a grocery store one time, and I was checking out, and the lady was like, "Oh, we started putting some restriction on some items, so you're gonna have to put this, or we'll have to take this off your order." I was like, "Oh, that's fine." And she goes, "Thank you so much for not yelling at me." And I was like, "Oh, this is the situation we're in now." And I was just mad about all of that stuff happening. And I think, though, the one that was most hurtful to me was the marriage one, because I just didn't think that was what we should be doing at this time. And Rachel, we had another big conversation.
We kind of had to talk through what the next few weeks would look like starting in mid-March, about how we would need to adjust our lifestyle to make sure that we stayed healthy, to protect those in our circle who are more vulnerable. We have a neighbor, we have family members where they may not make it through if they got sick from this, and that's a scary reality to have to talk through.
Yeah, it was very sobering. But as we kind of were starting to wrestle with this, there was a point where we just kind of looked at each other and said, like, we don't want to live our life in this constant fear. We weren't enjoying necessarily even sitting in the same room together. We were like, we love being together and being close, but we were so captivated by all the bad news that we just kind of shut down, and we're just looking for, oh, this is proof that like things are going down, and eventually we had the realization, it's like, that's just not how we want to live. We want to enjoy the time we have together, and so we had to start adjusting some of our lifestyle, adjusting the way we thought about things. I personally kind of had to take a sabbatical from social media at some level. I was still posting and keeping up with youth and stuff like that, but I wasn't as like adamant about looking at each bit of news. I kind of caught the highlights at the end of the day as opposed to like trying to have it 5 seconds after it came out or anything like that. And
Because it changed us. It changed how we behaved with one another and with our kids. And
yeah, and then we obviously had to start telling news of closings that hurt our kids, and um,
so we all kind of just collectively sank, I feel like, into a sadness and a season of where it kind of felt hopeless. And
we were grieving.
yeah,
And grief's not an easy thing to recognize always inside of us, and we just were sad for each other. We were sad for our family. She was talking about some of our family that's immune compromised. My mom is just came down with a major lung disease and was in the hospital right before all this hit, so I was very worried about her. And um, I think we were just overall sad that our kids had to miss out on school and softball and all
but the
that.
moment that we acknowledged that it was grief and that we were sad for the things that we felt like we were losing in the year was kind of the moment where it all shifted for us too, and we realized that this just isn't how we want to spend our days, and this wasn't how, if we're here, we're going to make the most of it. So we started to shift our family schedule. We're much more lax, and the opportunities though to say yes to, do you want to bake a giant cake for 2 hours? Sure. Do you want to turn the backyard into a mud puddle? Okay. And getting these chances of spending time together and bonding, and I think the things that we thought we lost in our first year of marriage, of opportunities and chances to make relationships and create bonds, have actually been really gifted to us in the most unexpected quarantine way, of the chance to get to be home and say yes and snuggle and cuddle and watch Star Wars and bake cakes and be ridiculous. And
Yeah, I think what we thought we were losing through all of this, we actually figured out that we were gaining so much more. Um,
it was a gift we could never replicate over the course of a year, as much as we're like, and this is how we're going to do things. Like, it just has happened organically.
I mean, don't get us wrong. We still miss hanging out with some of the people we love most, and we miss not having to question going out to the grocery store. And, we miss some of those aspects of life, but we've really enjoyed kind of being able to lean into one another and lean into our family and really develop time. I think as a first year father and working with these, or getting to know these girls better, not working with, that's a youth ministry term, but getting to know these girls, that I wouldn't have had this kind of time with them. I mean, just in the time that we've already been in kind of quarantine, I've been able to spend just about as much time as I would have spent in 5 or 6 more weeks with them. So there's been a good opportunity for us to learn each other and get to know each other on a deeper relationship, where I think they're starting to feel safe with me and I'm feeling comfortable with them, and as a family we're all kind of meshing well together. So
It was really a matter though of capturing the thoughts of like, this is awful and this is helpless and we won't come back from this, and just like, whoa. We're gonna actually rewrite what that sounds like in our heads.
Yeah.
And yeah,
we started looking for joy. I mean, that's basically it, and we started realizing the good things that God was giving to us, even in a time that seemed like it was the worst thing at the time. Because there's still a lot of uncertainty, but we can trust that God's still doing some great things. And I think one of the verses that we both spent time reflecting on and thinking about is John 16:33, and it says that. For in this world you will have trouble, but to take heart, for I have overcome it. And it just reminds us, and hopefully it reminds you, that God's bigger than this.
and he's already ahead of it.
And he's already just done so much good. And I hope that you see that, and yeah.
That you can find the joy in your everyday too.
Yeah. Well, we love you guys. We miss you. We want to hug all your necks, but until we're able to, join us in finding the joy.